I keep saying this over and over and over again, but I think Brian Wright deserves way more credit than he's been given.
I want some rest. Are we having fun yet?
I keep saying this, man. I absolutely love what the San Antonio Spurs got for DeJounte Murray, and comparing it to what the Cleveland Cavaliers had to give up for Donovan Mitchell, I think we can make a clear comparison here. So we're definitely going to talk about this because I think it's something that's not really talked about a ton. And if anything, Brian Wright is more or less dogged on by a majority of Spurs fans, at least on Twitter. I don't know. I don't even know what's real and what's not anymore. There's a very blurred line with Spurs fans, casual Spurs fans, diehards, and Twitter. I have no idea. All right, now before we talk about that really quick, if you guys want to support the channel, this is a new release, The Beautiful Game. Link in the description for that. So this is September's release. I might do another one in September at some point. I have no idea. I have a lot of designs, but I at least want to drop one per month. And I've said this before, but I need to reiterate. So this is print on demand, okay? So I do everything from home. So if you guys order, if you're one of the first, and I'm not trying to force you to, okay? I'm just letting you know that if there's some type of wait, if I get quite a few orders, you might be waiting just a little bit, okay? Not super long, but just a little bit, because I'm doing them one by one in order. Because I don't want the people that order the earliest to wait the longest. You know what I mean? So if you guys want to support, please head on over and do that for your boy. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this. So we had another video kind of discussing this already on what the Cleveland Cavaliers had to give up for Donovan Mitchell. It was 3 unprotected first-round picks and 2 pick swaps and the player that they literally just got in this draft. It picked 14, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure it was 14. I predicted that they would take Abaji, so I'm really shocked that they actually included him. But hey, Donovan Mitchell is a borderline superstar. Now, the reason why I want to make this comparison is because while they got 3 unprotected first-round picks and 2 pick swaps, the San Antonio Spurs got pretty decent haul as well. Now, while the 2023 first-round pick is a protected 1 through 16, I believe. 1 through 16, yep. Protected 1 through 16. As we can see here, if we go down to 2025, the San Antonio Spurs got Chicago's and Atlanta's. And from what I see, the only thing that's protected is Chicago's, which is 1 through 10. And by this point, the Atlanta Hawks in 2025, we're going to go ahead and assume maybe DeJounte Murray's gone. We don't know. They could potentially be a bad team by this point, and we can get a really nice pick. And then with the Chicago Bulls, that is protected. But that's besides the point. The San Antonio Spurs got this for a player that is a all-star reserve. And I'm not trying to this isn't a disrespect DeJounte Murray video by any means, okay? It really isn't. But the fact that you were able to get this type of haul for a guy that's not necessarily a star, that is huge. Because when we're talking about Donovan Mitchell, he is absolutely ridiculous. I know some people think that he's overrated. Some people say underrated. I think he's right where the main consensus is about him. But this is a guy that put up 36 points per game in 2020 playoffs. Like, he is capable of this. So he is a borderline superstar. He's right there. So what they had to give up to get him, it looks super similar. I'm sorry. It looks very similar to what the San Antonio Spurs got, what Atlanta Hawks gave up for DeJounte Murray. If you're comparing these two, it is absolutely insane. Also, another reason why I want to go ahead and praise the Spurs, and some people say this, and it's not true, okay? Some people say that all I do is just, oh, you just agree with everything the Spurs do. No, I don't, okay? There's times in which I don't agree necessarily, but I'm sorry. Overwhelmingly, they make good moves. They make good methodical moves, and if you think that these are really bad moves, you just got the wrong take. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Not really, but yeah. Anyways, but yeah. All I'm trying to say is, if you make these comparisons, this is absolutely impressive. But not only that, if you look at going forward and you look at what the San Antonio Spurs have going forward, they are absolutely set up for the future. Now, what I was gonna say was, Brian Wright did this at the perfect, and I mean perfect time. As soon as he knew that he could get this type of deal from the Atlanta Hawks, you couldn't do better than this. Because if we look around the league, I mean, we had Rudy Gobert, who is another star caliber player in a way, right? And then you take Donovan Mitchell, who's a borderline superstar. The landscape of the NBA right now wouldn't have been the same if the Spurs would have laid back and just said, oh, we're just going to wait and see. They knew what they were getting as soon as the Atlanta Hawks was willing to give this up. As soon as the Atlanta Hawks was willing to give this up, they pulled the trigger. We were one of the first teams. People say that we're not that aggressive or we haven't been that aggressive. We were one of the first teams to make a big trade in the offseason. Like, the Spurs hopped on it. They took their direction and they went with it. And it's going to pay off. If you look at our future, it is most definitely going to pay off. With the way that we draft, how smart we are with our picks, it's going to pay off. It just is. And even then, and last thing I'll say about Brian Wright, because I really do like the moves that Brian Wright has made thus far. It's not a lot of times where I sat back and I was just like, oh, what kind of move was that? Most of them have been pretty doggone good. The fact that he was even flipping Bryn Forbes, that's crazy to flip Bryn Forbes and Thad Young. Oh, my goodness. But even I look back at the whole Kawhi Leonard situation, and we were initially just going to trade Kawhi. If you don't know, we were going to trade Kawhi directly for DeMar DeRozan. And Brian Wright, even though he wasn't the GM at the time, he did come in between that. He said, no. You're going to have to give us a little bit more. And we already know now that we got a pick that turned into Keldon Johnson, Jakob Poeltl, who's a really nice piece going forward. And if we do trade him, we'll probably get another first to add to this long list. But yeah, and it paid off nonetheless. And obviously getting DeMar DeRozan, that turned into that Bulls pick and everything like that. So we are really set. The San Antonio Spurs are really, really set. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about. That's all I really wanted to bring up. But I'm baffled. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm pretty doggone baffled by the haul that the San Antonio Spurs was able to get for DeJounte Murray. That is not normal. And I think if the Spurs would have waited any longer, we wouldn't have been able to get that. But I'll give it to you guys later, man. If you want to support the channel, as I say, it's only $2 per month. Patreon and YouTube links in the description, or you can head on over to Clan the Merch Fan, support your boy there. But yeah, I appreciate all the love. Until next time, deuces, man.